Merry Christmas. For your Christmas gift, you're going to receive a movie review for your gift. Not just any movie review, a zombie movie review. That's right. Day of the Dead, coming out in 2008. Not to be confused with Dawn of the Dead, which I've already reviewed, because it's also a zombie movie with a very similar name, and it also has Ving Rhames in it, which is odd that I continue to watch movies with Ving Rhames in them, just out of just happenstance, just my normal movie watching habits. Ving Rhames just is on my feed a lot, I guess. And they do pay, I believe, homage to him slightly in this movie, and you'll see what I mean when I get there. But I just want to give a quick summary of this movie and then my review of it. So the movie starts out with with all zombie movies that I love particularly, and like how they begin is it begins with the virus. It begins with the zombie, and it's this airborne pathogen where the movie begins where you begin as the first person. It's the perspective of the person who first was infected, and goes to this abandoned warehouse where some kids are making out, and one of them gets sick, gets a nosebleed, and eventually he becomes a zombie. But the movie, they escape this warehouse, they go home, they're in like Colorado or something like that, and all of a sudden there's this giant quarantine zone. Like, the military has just come out of the wazoo. They have put up barriers, they've blocked up all the roads coming into this town in the middle of nowhere, I think Colorado. And the movie has the teenagers who are making out in the warehouse. They are technically the main characters, but my perspective is that actually the main protagonists of this movie is the two military folks. So there's the corporal. She's Corporal Sarah Bowman. And there's also the Private Bud. And essentially, there's like this little bit of a tension of a romance between them the entire movie. But essentially, after, the kids escape, goes to the quarantine, and the corporal, she's in control of like a lot of things. She's in control of Nick Cannon. She takes the Private Bud and they go rescue her mom, who, they haven't seen, escape the quarantine. And so, becomes a zombie. She's sick, eventually becomes a zombie. Fast forward, they go to a hospital, and like, for some reason, I can't remember exactly why they didn't get sick, but there's hundreds of people sick at this hospital, and then all of a sudden, like clockwork, like the airborne pathogen awakens like everyone to become a zombie. And there's like a little bit of a scuffle. Ving Rhames, this is where I think they pay homage to him, is he's also one of the military folks, and he has kind of like a last stand. He just shoots his way out. He goes out with a bang. He doesn't just give up, but he does get destroyed by some zombies. And that was it. I wonder, and I just, like, because of how close Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead are with the same actor, I do think that they gave him like but he didn't want to like be in a lot of the movie or something, so they just kill him off right at the beginning. But they do it in style. That's my theory. Alas, I digress. But the movie progresses where they escape from the hospital, the military guys, and like the boyfriend or the girlfriend, I can't remember, and of the teenagers. And they escape in a Humvee. They break into a gun store, get a bunch of stuff. But while they do that, the Bud gets bit by a zombie. And there's this immediate tension in the film of just like the corporal who's like kind of like has like opened up to this guy. There's like an emotional connection. She can't let go of him, and Nick Cannon's like, we gotta kill him because he's gonna turn to a zombie and eat us. And she's like, no, 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 he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. We can't kill him. And so he's literally turning into a zombie while they're escaping, and he's like, oh, I want to eat you. And Nick's is like, we gotta kill this guy. And Sarah's like, no, because I love him. It was so disappointing. Like, he just had plot armor because she decided. Because she was, the top military person over Nick Cannon's character. So he couldn't just kill him. But, alas, they make it to this laboratory where they think that there's like the doctor who could make like a vaccine for it, for all the zombies, like the airborne thing, and they find him in there, and he's turns out to be a zombie as well, and essentially there's like this final standoff, and Bud, who's completely a zombie at this point, but like mentally is still like has a moral compass, and so as the zombies are like chasing after them, and this is the final bit of the movie. Nick Cannon, he goes out with a bang. I mean, he just like has a last stand. I mean, they all get like this little like, a couple minutes of just killing zombies, just round after round, and then they die. And so it's kind of cool that they have like that final stand with some of the main like well-known characters, like actors. But then Bud, which is the best part of the movie, in my opinion, because everything really sucks. Bud, he basically gives himself up to save Sarah and the rest of the teenagers by sacrificing himself. And it was really weird. Like, so the doctor, the scientist, he becomes like this like crazy zombie and like super strong. And Bud is also a zombie. He just shoots him, and he doesn't die, and then they all just turn on Bud and eat him. Like, the zombies just knew that he wasn't like completely turned yet in that moment, and so they just eat him. Like, I've never seen a zombie eat a zombie. And so he dies, and that like gives enough room for everyone to escape, and they get some flamethrowers, and they burn everyone to a crisp. And that's sort of it. Like, there's no resolution other than they escaped, and now they, like, can begin this new life. They escaped the quarantine. I don't know. But that's essentially the movie, Day of the Dead, and it is painful to watch. I would not recommend it to anybody. This movie gets a straight, 2 out of 10. And the only reason I'm not giving it a 1 is because of that final scene. It's because it is kind of a cool, sacrifice. And, something a little bit unique. But in terms of, actual character development, the fact that they didn't kill Bud when he was in the Humvee is so stupid just because there was this romantic tension in the beginning of the movie. And, yeah. So, yeah, I give it a 2 out of 10. So, thanks for watching.